Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is This Morning on ITV, Sunday's edition. I want to take a look at protecting our national asset, talking about the oil pipelines, talking about guarding our crude. You get to hear the report of theft, crude oil thefts, both by the high, the mighty, even the lowly placed. But according to some reports, they are saying that the major players in crude oil theft, it was alleged that people in government, military formation, police formation, NSCDC, the top echelon, the allegation is that they are the ones deeply involved in this. And what you're hearing also, these cartel, they become so strong to the extent that they are even the ones somewhere along the line determining the economic situation of the country, because according to findings, he that controls the crude controls the economy. And here we have a private security firm given the charge to go protect our oil pipeline, the person of Tomolo, and that is raising so much dust. My analysts will throw more light on this. With me here in the studio, I have a legal practitioner, political analyst, public affairs commentator. Let me to welcome Barrister Matthew, and then I say, welcome to TMI.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a while. He's a have you on set with me. Yeah. All right. So very close to him. Yeah, call him squadron leader, retired, an advocate of Benin culture and language, political analyst. Jimmy to welcome squadron leader Ihile Ipadomosa.
You know I'm in English. My language first.
Your language first.
Wakuyo.
Okay, I'm going to start off with you, Barrister Matthew. What do you feel about this arrangement? At first, during President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's time, this same figure was the one in charge. And of course, he and some persons from the Niger Delta region, they're the one protecting the crude oil pipelines, oil installations, you just name it. Somewhere along the line, the contract was revoked. And right now, according to a report, it's been given back to him. What do you feel about this?
It is often said that necessity is the mother of invention. And it's also a common saying that when the desirable is not available becomes desirable. The nation is supposed to have the full complement of armed forces of defending the territorial integrity and the national space of every sovereign nation. Here we have our armed forces in place, in quotes, but it does appear that we are not protected as a nation. And our national assets are now at the mercy of vandals who are looting and vandalizing same with reckless abandon, almost unchallenged, on daily basis. It's not a happy chance. It has become a norm. We now hear of crude oil theft as if crude oil is like a penny that drop in the marketplace that could be picked and pocketed. You don't steal crude oil as if you're stealing the donut across the counter. It requires a lot to assess the facility. It also requires a lot of investment negatively to have the capacity to even lift it and take it out of the country. It requires a lot of synergy. And there is a cartel in place that made this stealing, this bogus stealing of our crude resources so easy. And the state appears helpless. So when you now approach a private contractor, it goes to show that there is loss of confidence in the established security, state security network. And Tomolo being a private citizen and his company being a private concern, a corporation, giving the contract by NNPC that has become privatized now is solely at the discretion of the company. After all, we have banks with their security outfits, in addition to the regular police security that ought to have been available to protect everybody and every investment in the system. So if we have no quarrel with banks having their security outfit contracted out to private security contractors, I don't see any reason why NNPC, in their own discretion as a private entity, it's going to become privatized. They now feel their facilities better secured in the hand of a private contractor. The public security agencies haven't failed. Obviously, I think the arrangement has not. It's not a bad faith at all.
Is it a bad faith at all?
It's justified.
It's justified.
Yes.
All right. Squadron Leader retired. Do you share his views and opinion that appointing Tomolo's private firm to take care of our oil pipeline, according to him, is justifiable? What do you have to say about that?
Yes, absolutely, it's justified. Our security network have failed us, the military have failed. So picking someone who knows the terrain, because it's not as easy as the barrister has said. It goes through swamps, through tunnels, through mountain hills. So it's not a small assignment. So picking someone who knows the terrain, one, politically again, someone who had accused the government of taking the oil from their location free of charge without compensating the people, it will be a nice one. He will be able to, Tomolo will have knowledge of exactly the situation, of what is actually happening there. And he will be able to deal with his people, maybe do what the Nigerians call settling. You know, it might not just be physical security. When the youths are settled, and some companies, some local refineries are settled, then there will be security. Then the oil will flow normally, and we'll go to the ships going abroad. Then the ones going, those already refined, or the gas will flow to the whole country. That's my take on.
All right. Now, some of the opinion that he was the one at the onset responsible for the modernization of our crude oil pipelines. Don't forget the Niger Delta. Don't forget also about the militants in the Niger Delta. According to a report, it was alleged that he was the one at the forefront. Why would you give it to such a man? That is the argument on one hand. It's what Barrister Matthew. I'll come back to you.
That is a roadside gossip. They have no evidence. They have no fact to back it up. If anybody alleges that Tomolo was vandalizing the oil pipeline, are they trying to hold Tomolo personally responsible or liable for the action of the militant group? Militancy was a movement in the Niger Delta before this amnesty and the dialogue took place between the agitators and the federal government. In every rebellion, the rebels must have access to resources to finance their revolution. During that period of insurgency, you cannot now begin to say they were not subject to the law of the nations at that time. Rebellion means a revolution. It means you are against the authority. At that time, they were government de facto in their own territory, in the area that they have a control over. So whatever resources they harness then to further the cause of their insurgency or resistance or freedom struggle, you can't pin it down to anybody. Amnesty declaration puts a total bygone. It is forgotten and forgiven. That's the meaning of amnesty. So revisiting it and trying to blame whatever happened then on somebody who's no longer in that era, it doesn't add up at all. Tomolo is not the militant. Militancy is not Tomolo. Militancy was a Niger Delta issue. It was an agitation against the Nigerian states. with the accusation that they are taking the resources of the Niger Delta people, and the Niger Delta are left with nothing, and they are not having anything to show for it. So that was what gave birth to, it was because there was justice in that cause that the federal government had to enter into a negotiation with them and made certain concession with terms and conditions. I think this protection of the facility by the ex-militant was one of those negotiated terms. And Tomolo, being a corporate person now, because he has a company, it's no longer about Tomolo as a person.
The way you said is not a corporate person,
Yes.
right? Now people may have a divergent view on this particular corporate nature you're talking about.
A company is a different entity. When you are dealing with Tomolo investment, you are not dealing with Tomolo as a person. A company is an artificial personality. The contract was awarded to his company, or a company he has interest in. He might not even be the sole owner of the company. So even if he is, the company that is registered and limited under the Nigerian law is a distinct corporate entity. It has a life of its own. You must learn to separate Tomolo from the company that has been awarded this contract to secure the pipeline for the NNPC.
All right, now over to you. It's like you have something to say about it. Talking about Tomolo being there, many people are saying that he was at the forefront of destabilizing our oil pipeline.
The way I see it is asking a thief to guard some installations. And you know, no thief will go there because he knows all his colleagues. And he's being compensated, and he will share with his colleagues. So I think it's a situation we are facing. As he rightly said, the contract is given to a company. It's not one person per se. But I know how things are done all over the world. Even United States settle people, in order to have peace, in order to have progress. So I support NNPC giving him the contract, or giving the company the contract for the security of the pipelines and installations. If these pipelines are secure, if the installations are secure, the money the government will make out of it is a huge sum of money, which when you deduct money paid to the company, it's peanuts. So I buy the idea that is, but as you know, we Nigerians, we always look for the negative side of things more than the positive. If it were to be given to me, people would talk and say, Edo State doesn't have the largest oil
Reserve, yeah.
So why are they giving it to me? So Nigerians are always complaining. What we want, oil is the mainstay of our country. If that oil is not flowing, we are all down. So anything that can be done to salvage the situation is a welcome business. So I wholly support it. If it can be done by Tomolo or the other person, Alaji, is it Asari? Whoever can do it, or whoever can do it, because the security network provided by the government has failed woefully. That's my territory, right? I know people who have made millions within 2 weeks, working, around the oil installations to provide security. They just make money. So if there's a way we can pay anybody, even my co-discussant, the lawyer, if he has a company that can do it effectively, I will gladly contribute to it. Even you, Mr. Wilson, if you have a company that can do it, why not?
All right.
If you can do it effectively, now we have a steady flow of oil and gas, then the installations are protected, no more vandalism. So I buy the idea.
You buy the idea. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, shortly after President Muhammadu Buhari took over power in 2015, declared this same man wanted in a case of conspiracy, illegal diversion of 34 billion naira, 11 billion and 900 million naira belonging to the Nigerian Maritime Administration Security Agency, NIMASA. Don't forget, this same character was declared wanted. What has changed? Mr. Martin, please, what has changed? This was a man declared wanted as we want him, and now you're giving him a contract to safeguard our national treasure.
When you say you declare an individual wanted, an individual resides in the territorial space, our national space. Tomolo has never been out of the country. You don't declare somebody wanted as a ceremonial tag. Declared wanted, and he was not missing. He was not invisible. He was available. So it is taken that he was never sincerely and earnestly declared wanted in the real terms of it, the term.
But it was there all over the news. You have TV, radio, social media, print media, you just name it.
EFCC was not in a slumber. Neither was Nigeria State on a holiday. Tomolo was not anywhere far away from their reach. His house is known. His abode is known. He has been in the public space ever since that pronouncement. It's a mere pronouncement. I do not think the Nigerian State actually declared him wanted in the street term of the sense. Declaring someone wanted.
But when you declare someone wanted, that means really, because take a look at the allegation leveled against him, 34 billion, 11 billion, other 900 million, that's linked to NIMASA.
The question right now, Mr. Wilson, is that was he really in all honesty declared wanted?
He was declared wanted.
Pronouncement is different from sincerity of purpose.
As a legal practitioner, when one is declared wanted by the federal government,
yes,
an arm of the federal government, is that not sincerity of purpose enough?
You don't declare somebody wanted, then you sit back. You declare somebody wanted, you go after him. So pronouncing him a declaration of declaring him wanted and not going after him means that you never really want him. You're only raising the dust for reason best known to the government agency in question and even the Nigerian states. But the subsequent development have shown that they never really declared he wanted. A wanted man, he put his pen on paper, he signed his contract with government, with a corporation that is within the Nigerian system, registered under the Nigerian law, the CAC. So a declared person who is not on the run, and you are seeing him, and you are not going after him, the presumption is that you are just it's just a joke.
A joke.
It's a joke. He was never declared wanted in earnesty.
All right. Now, I needed to react to what he said, that it was just a joke. It was not declared wanted in earnesty. But after that, you're going to also throw more light on the comment you made when you said that when you hand over a thing to a thief to protect, it is well guarded. And of course, you talked about settlement. That's like, used to settle this same person. Take it up from there.
The first question you asked was the fact that he was declared wanted. As the barrister has said, declaring somebody wanted doesn't mean he's guilty. You'll be proven guilty after a trial and pronounced guilty of those offenses. I can go to the police station and accuse you of having taken $5 million from me. But it might not be true until a trial is conducted and you are found wanting. Then one can say, so being declared wanted does not mean, and many things happen in this country, from the social media, from the journalists. A lot of things are written, which I would say are untrue. And some things are true, but they are so blown up that they become so humongous.
Exaggerated.
Exaggerated. Thank you for helping me out. So exaggerated. So out here, the common man like us do not really know. The common man like us do not really know the exact situation, the exact truth of what is happening. As he rightly said, the man has been living here. I have seen people who saw him in parties, you know, in some gathering.
It's in his house. It's not,
So I don't think, you know, he was really declared wanted. If he was declared wanted, they would go after him. I'll give an example. Kano of IPOB was declared wanted. They caught him in somewhere. Is it Kenya or something?
In Kenya.
Far away Kenya.
But if you can catch someone in Kenya, you can catch someone in Delta or Rivers Bayelsa right at the door, at your door mouth, then it calls for some doubt about the authenticity of the accusation. And I don't think the government would be so naive to give a contract to a wanted person to.
It's absurd.
So I hope I've cleared that part of it.
All right, now about the other aspects of what you said as a compensating thing, the compensation thing, and of course you use a parable that if you want a thing protected, you have to give it to a thief. You're in Bible saying that, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth right now. From what you said, take it up from there.
In security, in diplomacy, in life, something has to go for something.
Yeah.
I don't want to specifically mention a country, but some of the countries abroad, they do what they call settlement in order to achieve certain results. But what they do is try to balance the equation. If I give a barrister 100 naira, where I hope to get back 150 naira, is it a good thing for me to do? So if it's good, then I go for it. I give him the money, and you know, all that you are hearing about terrorism, about Al Qaeda, there are a lot of settlements going on. Otherwise, people are paid to do certain things for the government to achieve certain positive things. So when I use the axiom, when you get a thief to guard a property, no one will steal it. It's true, because the thief knows his people.
Are you in Bible saying that the man is what you said? Okay.
No, I'm not saying he is a thief.
Okay.
What I'm saying is this, that sometimes you hear the police, you know, arresting some people. Guess what has happened? Some of the policemen know one or two people who knows these people. So they go play friendship to him, and he helps them to. That's what happens the whole world around, you know. It's all give and take. Maybe my learned brother will say they call it diplomacy, or I don't know what you call it, but in life, you give, you give with this hand and take from, you know.
So it's all about settlement and diplomacy.
Yes. If the Niger Delta youths are not settled, all right, are not happy, bring US to come and do the security, they will not succeed. Because these people, the pipeline runs through their backyard. The oil is in their backyard. They're living on top of the oil. So they can do and undo. But when they're in a happy mood, what the thing is this, Mr. Wilson, what are we looking for? We want peace, one. We want progress, and we want the oil to flow without obstruction. Same with the gas. Then the installations that are there that make these things possible, that they are working effectively. So you pay something to get something bigger.
Okay.
Pay something to get something bigger. No matter, guess what? During President Yar'Adua's term, I'll give it to him. He settled the youths and promised. So they dropped their guns and said, okay, take the oil.
All right.
So there are ways, man. There are ways.
Okay. All right. Well, in 2021, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos found the allegations EFCC leveled against Tomolo to be fallacious, acquitted and discharged him. That was us last year. He was discharged, well, as saying that if you declare someone wanted at the beginning, though you went to court to be acquitted and discharged, but for you to find him wanting, that means it should have been given sensitive installations in our country, Nigeria, to take care of. Though the court thrashed at saying all those allegations against him, they are fallacious. They have no base, no proof. He was discharged and acquitted. Anyway, let's move on. He talked about carrying everyone along. There are some persons in the Niger Delta militant, ex-militant ranks that are not happy about this. That's say Tomolo is not the only one that has the capability of taking care of the oil installation. After all, they have many warlords that are ex-militant that it should be spread across board. And now that is the agitation of some factions in MEND. What do you think may come out of this, Barrister?
That argument holds no water. The contract was not awarded to militants. It was awarded
ex-militants.
to a corporate entity.
But it was not an ex-militant.
No, he wasn't given the contract as a person. It is his company. He has the wisdom and he has the capacity to set up a company, a corporate entity, with a speciality in delivering on this kind of contract. He's not going to guard the facility with a gun or a Beretta pistol in his hand. He has invested. He has ocean-going vessels. He has security monitoring, what do you call it, gadgets, surveillance equipment. So any militant who is just parading militancy as a naked certificate to be awarded contract, how will you perform? If I have no construction equipment, how will I be awarded road construction contract? Why did they not invest? If they want to be a security contractor, why did they not invest in setting up a security outfit with specialty in policing facility in the creeks? Because it's a very difficult terrain. Tomolo has moving a step ahead of his contemporaries by owning a company, establishing a company, and he has the equipment and facility. There's capability and capacity that the other party, the NNPC saw, that drove their confidence that this company can deliver. So the other militants who are now saying they should give, it's not a question of, nobody settled Tomolo. This is not a settlement, this is a contract award. They should not mistake it for amnesty. Amnesty was settlement.
But can it be likened to settlement, whether it's contract award or not?
Never, because there is this.
Because what the ex-militants are saying, this is settlement. It shouldn't settle only Tomolo. We are here.
It is their interpretation which is wrong. There is local content policy that if there is a contract or a related contract, the people that are domiciled in that area should be considered first. If they have no capacity, then before you can bring somebody from outside. Yes. So Tomolo happened to fall. It's like opportunity meeting preparedness. They are saying they want to offer scholarship for people to read medicine in Europe to Niger Delta indigents who are in the university. And you are reading philosophy. You want to benefit? You have to be a medical student and from this region.
No, you don't have school say.
Yes, it is what they want, specification. They want contracts to police the oil facilities. And Tomolo has the capacity and investment in that sector. Those who are talking now, they should display their investments and capacity. It is not settlement. It is contract award, and it's driven by this patronage of the local content policy. Tomolo is from the Niger Delta. He had the capacity, he had the corporate entity to do the job. The rest, ex-militants should show us where their company is located and where it was registered and what it has done before to warrant their qualification to be such a. This is it's a multi-billion contract.
48 billion.
Yes, that shows the level of investment he has put into the company. A company that has no capacity cannot go for such contract. And NNPC has advisors. They have professionals. They assess your capacity before they award you such contract. So they should not, out of sheer envy, be saying Tomolo was my contemporary. No, the Tomolo company has no contemporary to just oppose they want to compete with Tomolo. Let them also bid. Did they bid?
The other point is,
did they bid for any contracts?
They call for many.
Hold on.
They chose one.
There was a bidding. Bidding was done.
There was a bidding.
Yes.
Outright bidding.
Yes.
And of course, he was given.
Because he has
But
capacity.
they are saying he's not the only one.
His company.
His company is Tomolo. Tomolo is the company.
In law, the company is not you.
Until you see the
Because according to the military, they're saying he is the one that pointing fingers at him that he is the one they gave it
they are
to.
saying does not bring the truth. The truth is
The company is
I have
registered.
a
It's not
company,
entity.
Okay.
registered company. You have different types of companies. You have just
Enterprise.
enterprise.
You have a
Just
limited corporate.
your name or your daughter's
Identity.
name, you know. But when you have a limited liability company, as the barrister has given it the technical name, it's not done by one man.
It's an official entity. It has a life of its own. You can sue and it can sue.
Thank you. And it's done by law according to specified regulations. So all these things, it's not a one-man affair. Shell is not owned by one man.
That's it.
Toro or Chevron, they are not owned by one person. There are many people who own them, and they operate according to the laws.
There
of
are
the land.
directors.
You know, so that's what it is. Many of the people, some of the people complaining, are not aware of this. That this contract was not awarded.
It's out of ignorance. They are saying
Thank you.
competing with.
Ignorance is what is happening here. It's not awarded to one person. The person could have a majority share
Yes.
in the company. So you could be mentioning him. Dangote alone does not own the Dangote cement. Don't you know that? There are other investors. You know.
I'm speaking the mind of ex-militants. They say he's the one they gave it to. They gave it to government Tomolo. And that's what they are saying.
It's envy. It's a statement of envy.
All right.
Share envy.
I guess that's why you're
And ignorance.
having this topic
Yes.
program.
Yes.
Enlighten our people to show the truth about things, because many times Nigeria has been pushed to negativity side. There's a lot of ignorance going on in the society. So I praise your station for always bringing up these things so people can know the truth about things. I have a company. My company could be awarded to secure Area Street or Akpakpava, where I was born. Because I know the houses, I know the people.
Then your former classmates will not come and say they should be given contracts too. So because you were in their class in primary school.
So it should not be so.
All right.
I think it's a good one that will use yield good results for the country.
Over to you, about.
And again, you cannot even award contracts to the public. Contract is not awarded to a people. You award contract to corporate entities. So amnesty was given to the people. That was a group thing. But award of contract is a different ballgame altogether. So they are mistaking amnesty for contract award. Nobody gave Tomolo an amnesty, or it was not a share case of patronage. Like it rightly noted, there was a bid. Bidding was done, and he won the bid. It could have been you. Because he happened to come from, if he were to be a foreign company, these people will not be talking. And we should bury this our penchant for petty envy. We have been clamoring that they should patronize the Niger Delta people and their investment in the oil sector. Now it has come. The same people of Niger Delta are raising dust. If it were given to a non-Niger Delta company, they will not talk. It is what we call petty envy and jealousy. Tomolo has a company that has capacity. He bid and he won the contract. You can't award contract to the Niger Delta people. How will you enforce it? If there's a breach, How do you enforce it?
No.
That you gave contract to the people of Niger Delta. That is a psychiatric arrangement. When they fail, you have to be chasing everybody in the street and say you have disappointed. There's a company, they are liable under the terms of this contract.
All right, all right. Before we call it a wrap on this discussion, I don't think that this may cause another agitation in the Niger Delta region.
It shouldn't.
Knowing fully well that some ex-militants are not really happy about it. Though you've explained the fact that it was Tomolo's company, there was a bid, it is awarded to him, but they are saying they were also one-time militant, that is an ex-militant. They should review the contract so that some will be given to them to take care of some areas. Also, after all, they too want their pies to be well, you know, given butter and cheese.
As an old manager, I know you can't satisfy everybody. Some people will always complain, even when you give them so much, even when you share things equally amongst them, you will still find some complaining. You know? So that's what it is. Yes, people will complain, but by the time we see the effectiveness of this program, people will be very happy, because the country is losing so much, billions daily of naira, if not millions of dollars on this project. And you know, this is the only means of our survival.
Yeah,
it's the major means of our survival. That's why it should be well protected. As I earlier started, I said that Tomolo's company is not just going to work alone. They're going to employ many of the Niger Delta youths to work for them, and they will be handsomely paid. That's why the money is high. As a
48 billion. That is huge.
The job is big too.
Yes,
that is huge. 48 billion.
The job is big.
You should.
That is not the only contract in the Niger Delta. There are other contracts for oil companies.
See, we went
lifting
somewhere.
contracts are there.
We went somewhere in Bayelsa for a wedding, and the daughter of the chief of the village was the one we were going to marry. Guess what? 5 kilometers to the village, no vehicle could pass the road. There was no road. We all had to pull our white outfit and walk all
it's
the
difficult
through
terrain.
swamps, through water. These are the areas you have all this pipeline running through. It's not an easy. People just hear 48 billion and say,
all right.
By the time it's done, some friends of mine in Lagos before, they used to feel that they've made it when they hear of millions contract. By the time the contract is done, you find before you get $500,000, it's very tough. It's not easy.
All right,
So
thank you.
People should not be
jealous.
All right.
not just jealous,
All right.
excited to
All
hear
right.
48.
And they should also tell those ex-militants that it is not the only job that's good to Tomolo company that is the available job in the oil sector. There are sea divers contracts. There are contracts for maintenance. Security is not the only contract, and other companies are doing those contracts.
So they should go and bid for the other contracts.
Yes,
okay.
they should build capacity.
Thank you.
Build capacity and do underwater welding is there. They should look for other contracts and build capacity.
Even
Thank
security.
You. Yes, they are there.
Shell and Co.
There are other companies. So why are they pushing?
All right, thank you so much. For almost 40 minutes, we're talking about this situation, about the Tomolo factors of getting our crude oil pipelines. You've heard them, that it was a fair bit. Don't forget, Tomolo, during the time of Jonathan, it was the one that contributed one massive ship to the Nigerian Navy. I remember that report. We were like, how did he get that money? That was the question. They would say, thank you. They were asking, how did he get the money? But he contributed. Maybe his company or himself, he gave it to the Navy. Maybe, just maybe, that was the reason what or why they said that he's the man for the job, because of his ability to deploy all those things. They know the terrains and all that. But what we need right now is for crude oil theft to stop. That is what Nigerians want, so that we can enjoy our national cake in peace. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to the show. I appreciate your comment.
Thank you. Please, may I quickly say that
Yes.
there were companies given this assignment before. But
Before.
They failed. They didn't deliver.
Yeah, we
And have you ever asked where Dangote got his money and the rest? Is it Tomolo
They were
Tomolo?
companies.
You want to investigate source of wealth? He has
They
capacity.
didn't.
That's all.
All right. Thank
Nobody's
you.
money is missing.
Thank
He
you.
didn't steal anybody's money.
This is everybody's money.
No.
Wow.
It's
All
an
right.
investment, and he has invested.
All right, you've heard them. Let's see how all this will pan out. Peace is what we want. Securing our oil installation is what we want. If he's the right man for the job, well, go ahead, like what they rightly said. They're giving to others. They failed. Let's see if he can really make a difference. Don't go away. We have all that segments on this morning on ITV.